Hello everyone, welcome back to MAT052. So this time we're going to pick up where we left off. We had left off, plotting basics, doing scatter plots, plotting points on a Cartesian plane. And I'd mentioned writing a model from basically the graph and see if we could come up with something like that. So Excel will take care of this for us. But what we want to do is just basically talk about linear equations and that model. What exactly is it doing? Okay. So here we had, remember from last time, we had reaction times for both visual and auditory stimuli were plotted in a scatter plot. So this is kind of where we left off. Because the points tend to cluster around a straight line from the lower left, so when we're going, really going left to right among the, across the graph, we can say that there's a positive linear association. Remember, going this way and it went up. If we went this way and it went down, that was that positive negative linear association. Sometimes there's a perfect linear relationship between two variables. Okay, in this case, the points x, y fall exactly on a straight line. Okay, and that's great when that happens. Basically, I can write an equation for this thing, and that equation will give me an x value, and I will tell you exactly what the y value is. So if it's exactly a straight line, we can do a pretty good model, and you give me the x, I will give you the exact y, so I can match those to it. Okay, so let's kind of go through and see what these equation things are. So a linear equation is in two variables. There's two variables, x and y. They have some relationship to it, like I mentioned before. I do some fertilizer. I expect to get more growth than what I would if I just left it alone. Okay. So I can do something like, here's like a basic. For each little teaspoon of fertilizer I add, I might get double the amount of growth from the previous one. So if I had like x, and I wrote this out, y, if x was 1, my y is 2 times, this stands for 2 times x, whatever that x value is. So this would be 2 times 1 is equal to 2. So I would come up with 2. What about if my x was 2, then I would go 2 times 2 is equal to 4. And then 3 would be very similar. 2 times 3 is equal to 6. So whatever this x is, I'm going to plug it in here and I get that back. Now I could come up with something a little different. I could do a multiplication and an add. Multiplication, I'm going to do this time 3 times x, but then I'm going to add 5 to it. Okay? So I'm going to do the very same thing. I've got my x and my y. This time I was doing 2x, so I could kind of write it up here as a reminder. Here I'm going to do 3x plus 5. Whatever the x is, I'm going to stick it here, multiply times 3, and then add 5. So if my x was 0, let's start at this one, because this one's going to be pretty important later on. If I do a 0 here, my y value is going to be 3 times 0 plus 5. So I'll just get the 5 there. How about if I do a 1? Then my y value is 3 times 1 plus 5. That would be 8. 2. 3 times 2 is 6. Plus my 5 would get my 11. And let's finish one more. 3 times 3 plus 5. 9 plus 5. And that would be my 14 value. And then I would plot the points out here. I would go 1, 2 for this one. 2, 4 for this, 3, 6 for that one, just like we did. So we would plot it just like we were doing in the last lesson. 0, 5, 1, 8, 2, 11, 2, 11, and then 3, 14. Okay. So this, if we go back over here to our PDF, our worksheet, here's this thing called the slope-intercept form, and these two are versions of the slope-intercept form. We'll talk about it more in just a minute. Slope-intercept form And that's when I've got something that looks like over here at this side, y is equal to mx plus b. So this is some multiple. That was like 2x, 3x, 1/2 x. All of those, this would be m, and that is the slope. Basically, for a small number, so if I kind of did a quick graph out here, we gotta get this out just a little bit. Here, if I had no slope, that would be 0 slope. And then I could do something like, that would be m is equal to 1, and then more. So if I go over like 2, I would be up 2. So 2 would be from y is equal to x, 1x, okay? So in this case, when I did, here was the example, y is equal to 2x. When I did that one, this was equal to 0. So I had no b in that case. It was just y is equal to 2x. The b was equal to 0. For y is equal to 3x plus 5, my m was 3, and this thing was 5. So my b was my 5 there. Now over here again, I've got this version. Hold on just 1 second. I have a variation, so that was an equation of a line. This is also, but it is a little less useful than what we just saw. If I give you an x value here, you would have to basically do algebra to solve for your y and each thing. But this would look like 2x plus 3y is equal to 4. Okay, that's an example. X minus 2y is equal to -7. That would be a second one. Okay, but I would give you an x value and then you would have to solve for y. That's why I like to use that version. You can do this for here. Let's take this one. I could say 2x plus 3y is equal to 4 and solve for y. I would do that by subtracting 2x from both sides. So this one would be zeroed out. Then I would come up with that one, and then I would divide both sides by 3. And this looks like 4/3 minus 2/3 x. So my slope is equal to -2/3. So it's a negative slope. That's that negative linear association. And my b is 4/3 here. So let's kind of go back over here and pick this up. So music streaming service charges us $1.99 per month for a subscription fee plus 79 cents for each music track downloaded. Okay, so for each month, it's a basic $1.99. You got to pay $1.99 for this subscription fee every month. But then for each download you do, it's a 79 cents. Suppose that X tracks are downloaded in a given month. We may write the total charges for the month as Y, charges for X downloaded tracks plus a subscription fee, okay? And the way that works out is just 0.79 to 79 cents times the number of tracks. So you're basically kind of writing a model like this. Let X equal to the number of tracks downloaded, then your monthly charge looks like Y, 0.79, 79 cents times the number plus the $1.99 subscription fee. So this is your subscription fee, and that's the cost per track times the number of tracks. Okay. Now, if we wanted to put this into AX plus BY, we would basically get this back over on the other side. So I would subtract 0.79x from both sides. So Y minus 0.79x is equal to $1.99. And then if I want it in this AX, I just rewrite this. This is understood positive anytime I don't see it. So this is my A is negative 0.79, my B is equal to 1, there's an understood 1 here, and my C is 199. So if I want to do a graph kind of looking at this, let me kind of read back through here for you. The graph of an equation in two variables consists of all points that make the equation true. So the idea of being true is that for this side, if I took an x and a y point, like 2, 3, if I said negative 0.79 times 2 plus 3 was my y point, this should be equal to 199 if it is on the graph. And I'm pretty sure it's not. That would be a solution to that, okay? So let's see a different one. Let's kind of see a different one. So x plus 4y is equal to 8. So let's say if I had, I'm just going to kind of think about numbers that add up to 8, but I've got to do 4 times a number. I could do, well, 4 and 4, the point 44, x equal to 4, y is equal to 4. So if I did that, no, that's not going to work. I'm sorry, 4, 1. That was what I was thinking. 4 plus 4 times 1, does that equal to 8? And that works, so the point 41 works. How about that 4, 4 that I accidentally wrote? 4 plus 4 times 4 does not equal to 8. 16 plus 4 is 20, and that does not equal to 8. So that doesn't work. Okay, so that means that's what understood being a solution to the equation is. And basically, if you're doing something like the line y is equal to 4x plus 2, you're picking the x's, calculating the y, so all of those things, if I pick 0, this is just 2, so 0, 2 would be up there, and then I'm kind of considering like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 4 times. So here, if I'm doing a 1, I've stepped up. For every 1 I go over to the right, I go up 4. So I'm going to go, I go over 1 to the right, so I'll go up 4, and then another 2, so I would be out here at 1, 6. Clean this up. 1, 6 would be on there. 4 times 1 is 4, plus my 2 would give me the 6, the y value. Okay, and all of those points on that line in between. Okay, so if you kind of got some narrow pieces and actually calculated those things. Okay, the best way to actually see this is if I go through, let me pick out, let me leave this back up. But I want to go to a graphing utility called Desmos. www.desmos. And I'm just going to type in just exactly like I see, y is equal 4x plus 2, and there's the graph, and I'm going to kind of go out a little bit and expand this out like here. Okay, so there, if I click on this point, it's going to let me know what it crosses, the 0, 2, and then this has got to be 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, so about halfway through, right about there, hopefully that's going to be somewhere. There's my 1, 6 is basically there, 1, 6. Okay, but this is a nice graphing utility for that. Okay, so bring that back down, go back out. So that's what it means by a solution, that point x, y, whatever those two pairs are, has to make the solution equal. Okay, if I've got this x plus 4y in that form. Okay. So graph the equation, graphing the equation. So how many points How many points, here's your quiz, how many points are needed to draw a straight line? Well, me, a lot, because I have a hard time drawing a straight line to start with. But any 2 points determine a straight line. So if I've got a point here and a point here, and if I go get an edge, you know, a straight edge, that's going to be on the straight line through there. Okay, so I'm going to use that particular fact to draw any straight line, and anything that looks like, number one, y is equal to mx plus b. This can't be a 2, 3, or 4 up here as an exponent, or ax plus by is equal to c. Both of these are straight lines. All I need is 2 points. And 2 points would be, I would choose x equal to 0, find y. Choose y is equal to 0 and find x. Okay. So if it's in this form of ax plus by is equal to c, all I do is stick in x1 and then solve and then do a 1. So I'm going to do this. X plus 4y is equal to 8. So choose x equal to 0. When I do that, I get 4y is equal to 8. 4 times a number is equal to 8. So if I divide that by 4, that just tells me the number is 2. Does 2 times 4 equal to 8 in that case? Yes. Okay, so 0, 2 is my first point. So if I go over here and look, that's what they've done is draw that point 0, 2. Then I'm going to choose y is equal to 0. And then I get x plus 4 times 0 is equal to 8. That's 0, 4 times 0, and I get x is equal to 8. So 8, 0 is my second point. And I get here and I just go off and I draw a straight, get my straight edge, the edge of the book or a ruler, and I just go through and draw a straight line through those points. Okay, so very similar. Here's in a different form. Y is equal to negative 7x minus 4. So here I'm going to choose x equal to 0. And if I choose x equal to 0, I get the negative 4. And then just any other point. Okay, so pick x is equal to 2 is what they've done here. And they made that so this was a fraction. So if I multiply times 2, the 2 went away. This is multiplication, not, any addition or anything. So 2's go out. So I've got the 7 minus 4, and that's 3. And that's my second point. And that was just any easy. When it's in this form, you're free to choose the point. And they chose wisely to make that 2 go away, and just 7 minus 4 is 3. Do my straight edge. Okay, so here's your practice problems. An international calling card charges $2.99 per month for a subscription fee, and then 2 cents a minute. Suppose that x represents the number of minutes used in a month. Write a linear equation that represents the total monthly charge. So we looked at one very similar to that. You're looking for y is equal to something like that value times the number of minutes plus that basic subscription charge of $2.99. Find 2 ordered pairs that make the equation true. Well, if you choose x equal to 0, 0, 8 would be there, and then choose another one for y and then solve. Hopefully your basic algebra, you can kind of remember some of your basic algebra. If not, you may want to go up to Khan Academy and basically review some basic algebra. Okay, but go through these, and that's your basic linear functions. Okay, so what I did before was that I got a scatter plot and let statistics give me this regression line. So it's called a trend line in Excel, but you do your trend line, add that to the graph, and then you have an equation that you can go through and predict for values that you don't know. You're free to pick an X and go through and do that. Now there's some errors involved when you're doing the regression, but you'll talk more about that in class. So hope you found this helpful. Do your worksheet and submit this in using the link, and we'll see you next time.